So lads, today Sophie Cunningham was interviewed, obviously, after the entire fiasco. The entire Connecticut Sun fiasco. She was interviewed at practice. I don't think they really interviewed at practice after the for the goal.
Do you think Sophie Cunningham was justified in standing up for Caitlin Clark the way she did, or did she go too far? Sophie Cunningham just broke her silence about that wild ejection defending Caitlin Clark, and she's not backing down at all. Her new interview reveals exactly why she took matters into her own hands and calls out the people who have been targeting Clark all season. Her words are going viral for all the right reasons.
Just go tomorrow. You're on the Las Vegas Strip. What can the Las Vegas expect from Sophie?
Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna be me. I don't go in there trying to predetermine anything. I'm dialed in. I need to focus on hitting my shots, making sure I'm executing the schemes right. I'm not focused on the extracurricular activities. And you know what? During that, it was just part of the game. I think the refs had a lot to do with that. It was a build-up for a couple of years now of them just not protecting, the star player of the WNBA. And so at the end of the day, I'm going to protect my teammates. That's what I do. And I'm a team player, so.
Sophie Cunningham just had her first interview since she became the WNBA's most talked about player, and I must say that she brought receipts with her after being disqualified for standing up for Caitlin Clark against the Connecticut Sun. Cunningham had the option of being cautious and apologizing, but instead she went all out and spoke the truth about what has been going on in this league.
Definitely the W, especially if Sophie Cunningham is going to continue to fight people for messing with Caitlin Clark, because it feels like Caitlin Clark is going to get treated in a certain way in this league for a long time. She's not a rookie anymore. Okay? She's already proved herself. She's won. And then there were some, ladies last night that were trying to go a little physical. And last year, I think something we noticed, and I think a lot of people noticed, is when Caitlin would get bullied, nobody would do nothing.
That's right.
Nobody would do nothing. It was like, hey, they didn't know, like, whoa, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe people are doing this to Caitlin Clark. Teammates weren't jumping in there. They bring in Sophie Cunningham. I had no idea. Sophie Cunningham was a black belt at the age of 6.
Who didn't witness the chaos? Let me explain. Things quickly became ugly during the Fever's 88-71 victory over the Connecticut Sun. Sheldon poked Clark in the eye during the third quarter, which was bad enough. Scrape across the face. Applause. But then Marina Maberry came charging in like a linebacker and shoved Clark to the ground from behind. The referees barely did anything about it, just handed out some technical fouls like they were giving out parking tickets. But Sophie Cunningham was watching all of this unfold, and she wasn't having it. With about 46 seconds left in the game, Sheldon was on a fast break when Cunningham decided enough was enough. She wrapped up Sheldon and took her down hard. No hesitation, no second thoughts, just pure protection mode activated. The arena erupted. Fans started chanting Sophie, Sophie as she got ejected. Her jersey sales sold out within hours. Social media went crazy calling her Clark's bodyguard. And now in her first interview since the incident, Cunningham explained exactly why she did what she did. I'm dialed and I need to focus on hitting my shots, making sure I'm executing the schemes right. Cunningham stated, I'm not focused on the extracurricular activities, and during that it was just part of the game. I think the referees had a lot to do with that. Did she just say a couple years? That's not talking about one game or one incident. That's talking about a systematic pattern of referees failing to protect Caitlin Clark since she entered the league. Cunningham is essentially saying what everyone with eyes has been seeing, which is that Caitlin Clark is regularly targeted, roughed up, and cheap-shotted while the referees just watch it happen. However, here's the money quote that has everyone talking. At the end of the day, I'm going to protect my teammates. That's what I do, and I'm a team player, so it's all good. Simple, no apologies. In essence, Cunningham is stating that she will defend Clark on her own if the referees fail to uphold their duties, and she is 100% correct.
Scrape across the face.
Consider what we've witnessed so far this season. Referees have repeatedly failed to call flagrant fouls or remove players for blatantly cheap shots, while Clark has been repeatedly targeted with dirty moves, shoved to the ground, and poked in the eye. Instead of genuinely defending the league's top player, they call out technical fouls as if they were helping the players. When Cunningham talks about a build-up over a couple years, she talks about every time Clark got roughed up in college and then in her rookie season, every time someone took a cheap shot and got away with it, every time the referees allowed physical play against Clark while calling ticky-tack fouls on everyone else. This is what makes Cunningham's response so perfect. Cunningham's interview reveals something that many fans have suspected but no one wanted to say aloud. There's been a coordinated effort by some players and teams to physically intimidate Clark, and the referees have been allowing it to happen. She is a seasoned player with years of experience in the league who knows exactly what she's doing. When she threw Sheldon out, it wasn't an emotional outburst. Rather, it was a well-considered message. If you want to target our star player, you're going to have to deal with consequences, not from the referees, who have shown they won't do anything, but from her teammates, who genuinely support her.
Overnight, Sophie Cunningham is like the second biggest star in the WNBA. Her jerseys have sold out. All of the race lesbians are going to be super mad at her. They're going to be super mad. That is her right there taking Jackie Sheldon into a clinch. Imagine I can't get over it. You're Sheldon and you're going to step to a girl who's got a black belt in Taekwondo. I think Cunningham could take everybody on that bench. Now Caitlin Clark is super popular. And now Sophie Cunningham is super popular for defending her. Just overnight like that, it happened. And I think that's awesome. WNBA, are you watching this? Are you seeing how this is working? Do you see where the eyeballs are going? And the interesting thing is that the only reason anybody even knows Angel Reese's name is because of how nasty she's been. And I just think it's amazing that you stand up for your teammate and you give the audience a good game. And look what happens. WNBA needs to be watching this. Other players should be watching this. Maybe some of these other players on Fever will stick up for Clark now every single time that they try tripping her, knocking her to the ground, poking fingers in her eye. I think all of the race hustling lesbians in that league are going to be super mad now. Because here you got Caitlin Clark #1, and now you're going to have Sophie Cunningham on the same team. I love it.
And the reaction has been amazing in a matter of days. Cunningham's TikTok following increased from less than 400,000 to over 1.2 million, and her Instagram following increased by more than 300,000. Her sales of jellies skyrocketed. The best part of Cunningham's interview is how she calls out the real bullies in this situation. Caitlin Clark even stated that she would pay Cunningham's fine for being ejected, which says it all about how fans feel about what Cunningham did. They aren't purchasing jerseys of someone they believe went too far. Instead, they're supporting someone who finally stood up for what's right. As you can see, the media narrative has been trying to portray Cunningham as the aggressor. Some people have been calling her dirty or saying that she went too far, but Cunningham is completely altering that script by pointing out that the players who have been bullying Clark for years are the ones who take cheap shots and then pretend to be innocent when called out, the ones who try to intimidate a smaller player with their size and physicality, and the referees who allow this behavior by failing to call it correctly. Even if you watch this play, Cunningham's interview is powerful because she is essentially claiming that the referees are complicit in allowing Clark to be targeted because they refuse to perform their duties. She is not only defending herself, but also exposing the entire system that has permitted this to occur and calling out the hypocrisy of those who are more upset about her retaliation than they are about the initial cheap shots directed at Clark. Throughout her career, Cunningham has been the enforcer type. Every successful team needs players like this who are willing to take a technical fall or be ejected to send a message. She also touches on something that many people don't understand about basketball dynamics. She talks about how she's, quote, a team player and how protecting teammates is part of what she does. Players that force rivals to reconsider before compromising their stars, people try to act as though it's strange or incorrect when Cunningham does it for Clark, which is absurd. What's unusual is how long it took for someone with the fever to finally step up and do this. The Lakers had players like this for Kobe, the Bulls had players like this for Jordan, and the Warriors had players like this for Curry. Cunningham's interview also demonstrates how well thought out her strategy was. Rather than retaliating at random, she was waiting for the ideal opportunity to convey the ideal message. She allowed the first incident involving Sheldon and Marbury to occur, but when Sheldon attempted to score during garbage time, when the outcome of the game was already decided, Cunningham had the perfect timing. The game was already over, the Fever had already won, and Sheldon was attempting to boost her stats when Cunningham. Favorite player get battered while the referees do nothing. Cunningham understands all of this, which is why she criticizes the referees for failing to protect the WNBA's top player. Sponsors don't want to work with a league that can't protect its stars, and media coverage turns into dirty play. Rath essentially said, "Not in our house."